Rosh Hashanah marks the beginning of the Jewish High Holy Days. It's a time of year when many in the Jewish community come together at their local synagogue for prayer, self-reflection, and for a greater sense of community. But for some, it's physically impossible to make the trip to a synagogue, and for others, the attendance fees for holiday services may well be unaffordable. In an effort to reach more of their community, one synagogue on Long Island has gone high-tech.
My name is Erwin Zeplowitz. We're here at the Community Synagogue in Port Washington, New York. There are many people who may want to be part of things but can't. There may be people who are ill, people who are shut in, people who are traveling. We have to meet people where they are. And we felt that it was, given the technology of the 21st century, possible to bring the services to people if people themselves couldn't come to the services.
My name is Suzanne Reisman. I have reached the wonderful age of 89 and a half. Yay! I made it. I would go to services every Friday night, every Saturday morning. Gradually, I had to give it up because I'm not able to do it. Luckily, our synagogue installed a camera and what they call streaming, and so they always stream the Friday night services and also the holiday services.
Our congregation, up until this year, never charged for high holy days, and I know many synagogues do. There are a lot of expenses related to these particular services that are different than the rest of the year. Extra security, unfortunately, given the world in which we live. I think many people feel that with that many Jews in one place at one time, you have to have additional security. That's costly. We have to put up a tent and rent chairs and have extra people on hand so that we can afford to have a service that we think is meaningful and safe and secure for people. We often say to people, while there may be a charge for this, there's certainly no charge for live streaming.
I had to learn how to do the computer. I'm not tech savvy. My kids have to tell me over and over and over again, and I have to write them down step by step, but I can do it. I can learn and I can do it.
The essence of what we're trying to do is to make people feel as if they are there. Because we felt, again, as a congregation, that this was something that was meeting the needs of people, and that was helping create a greater sense of sacred community, which is our ultimate goal.
It's very important to me because I feel I'm part of the congregation. I'm praying with them. I'm singing with them. I'm listening to the sermon with them. I'm having my own opinions about the sermon, what I liked, what I have questions about. It's a need that I have. Let's call it a spiritual need, but it's for my well-being. It's for my sanity and my feeling of wholeness and my feeling that God is taking care of me. I get that through the services, which I can now see.
We're living in an age of ongoing connectivity. And so one of the things that I guess I want to have people do is not just connect with one another, but connect with something deeper. Connect with God, connect with the past, connect with the world not as it is, but with the possibility and the hope within of a world that it could be. We use the Torah, which is an ancient scroll. That's a technology of 3,000 years ago. We use books, which is a technology that was developed in the Roman period called the Codex. We use that technology. We use the printing press and the technology of what the printing press has to offer. Why shouldn't we use the technologies of our time, either an iPad or phone or streaming, to be able to convey a certain truth about what we believe?
And for more information about online services, visit our website at metrofocus.org.